Hello, everyone. John Turnbull again with Powder Blue Sports, bringing you the last part of the introduction to baseline basketball. We're going to go over some gameplay. I have with me here a canned score sheet. This is one that I have done, and full disclosure up front here, the SRS adjustment will not match what should have been calculated for this, since this game was played in beta while I was getting different aspects of the game lined up. So the important thing is your actual adjustment will go across the bottom here. The TSA adjustment, the new sheets will have that labeled a little bit differently, but the motions are going to be the same as far as what you do in the game. So that's the important thing. I wanted to talk you through how to read the cards and what to put down. When I start doing some live games here, it'll come more into focus. So what we're going to do here is we've got a game here between the 95-96 Hornets and Bulls, and Charlotte was the road team, so they started off, and you have your decide or die for offense and defense, and the first roll was an offense, 16. 16 is the combination of the 3d6. So Charlotte would go to their offensive column, look under number 16, and the category would come up as paint. So then they would do is they would roll for their score. We know they're on offense. We know the column is the paint column, and then they roll a 6. So you go to your 6, and it comes up as 8 points. That is your score result. You add in whatever your total score adjustment is going to be, and then that is your segment score for that segment. Easy as that. The Bulls, on their first possession, rolled a defense 11. So they're going to go to the Charlotte's defensive column on their Charlotte's card, go down to 11, and it's a paint. That's paint on here. The score roll is a 7, so they're going to stay on Charlotte's card since defense was rolled. You go to the defense section, P for paint, and a score roll of 7, and the result is 9. And on here I put an adjustment of 2, so they got 11 points for the segment, and after 4 minutes, the Bulls lead 11-9. The second segment for the Hornets, they roll a defense 10, so now they go to Chicago's defense column. A 10 is FT for free throw. So we stay on the defense, stay on Chicago's card since defense was rolled. The F column for free throw, and the score roll you can see was 3. 3 means they scored no points. They have 1 adjustment point, so they get 1 point for the segment, and now they're up to 10 points. The Bulls roll a defense 11 again, which is a paint. So they go back to defense. The paint column, they roll an 8 for the score roll, which is 10, plus 1 adjustment point, so that gives them 11 points. So now, after 8 minutes 4 minutes left in the first quarter, the Bulls are up 22-10. The Hornets, on their third segment, roll an offense 12, which is FT for free throw. So they stay on their offense. They go in the free throw column. They score a roll of 8 on the 2d6, and that corresponds to 5 points, plus 1 adjustment point gives them 6. And the running score now tallies up to 16. The next possession to end the first quarter for Chicago, they roll an offense 13, which gives them a free throw. So they go to their offense, their free throw column, score roll of 8, which gives them 5 points. Plus 1 adjustment point gives them 6 for the segment. You put in 6 on there, end of the first, the Bulls were up 28-16. Now, as you can see, as the game, I'm not going to go through every other possession. That's pretty much, I mean, it's the same. It's the same thing segment after segment. So you roll for your offense, defense, you roll for your category, you find out what category it is, you go to that column on offense or defense, you roll for the score, you find that score, add your adjustment, and boom, you got your segment score. And the flow goes really, really easy and really quick once you have it down to a science. Now, if you noticed on here, obviously the free throws are going to give you fewer points, and the arc categories are going to give you more points. Now, if you look at the score sheet here, Charlotte threw an arc, and they didn't have any free throws until they only had 3, as opposed to 5 for the Bulls. And here's this. This is off of the helper, the score sheet, but it looks a lot similar to the paper score sheet. Plus, it looks a lot neater since my handwriting is sloppy. So this, the helper will show you at the end how many rolls of each team were in the arc, the paint, and the free throw. So you can get an idea, and also your average score rolls to see how close they were to being in the middle, or if they were on the wider side of high or low. So they did have an arc. They had an arc 10 on this one, which gave them 14 points. And as you can see, as Chicago had more free throw categories, Charlotte had more paint and arc categories, and they were down 12. And by the end of the third quarter, they were up by 15 points and ended up winning the game by 7. So, and these categories are based on the percentage of made 3, 2, and 1 pointers by those teams, either for or against during the season. So these aren't arbitrarily placed here. They're actually based on the actual team's percentages of scoring for each of those point segments: 3-pointers, 2-pointers, and free throws. So let's go to the player lookup score here. You notice at the bottom here, we've got some individual scores. Again, these are just the top 3, just as a novelty. I would say they're pretty accurate, since these numbers are based on a percentage of that player's team score for the entire season. So for Glenn Rice, if he had a, let's see, Hornets and Bulls. Okay, something's not right. Okay. Disregard here. Like I said, this is a beta version of it. So we'll actually go through it here with a couple people, but these names are not matching the names. These are the actual names. These are the real people. The cards are correct. The score sheet, I must have had some couple errors here with the calculations. So no worries. That's going to be fixed when everything gets put up. But I can still show you how to use these. Glenn Rice, if the APF roll for arc, paint, free throw matches one of these numbers, he gets the points that are assigned to that segment. So he had a 4, and there were no 4s. He has 7, and he has 3 7s. So he's got 11, 9, and 11. So that's 31 points. And he also has 10. 31 and 1 is 32, and 6 is 38. So Glenn Rice would have scored 38 points in this game. Grandmama Larry Johnson has 11, and there's only 1 11 in here, so he scored 11 points. And then a 14 and an 18. He had 11 and a 14, so 10 plus 11 is 21. And then Curry had a 6, so we have 1 6 in here, which is 10 points. And a 13, no 13. So he only had 6 points in the game. If we go to the Bulls, Michael Jordan has a 10, 12, and 15. Well, here's the 10, here's the 10, here's the 10. So you've got 4, 5, and 4 is 10, 9 points. 9 points off of his 10. He had a 12. There were no 12s rolled. And a 15. He had 1 15 rolled for 4 points. So he got all the low ones for some reason. So he ended up scoring 4, 5, 9, and 4 is 13 points. Scottie Pippen had a 7 and a 9. There's 1 7, 1 9, 13 and 9 is 22 points for Pippen. And Tony Kukoc had 11. There were 3 11s. They had 22 and 9. So Kukoc had 31 points. Again, these names will match what's on here. As a matter of fact, when you do the helpers, you'll have to manually put in the player's name, the 3 players for each of the teams and their lookup numbers in order for the helper to accurately calculate and output the names. But this will at least show you what it looks like at the end of the game. So that is the gameplay for Baseline Basketball. I have, as of right now, like I said, I'm going to be putting everything on Facebook and on a Google Drive probably by March 1st. Right now, I've got the for the NBA, I've got the 83-84, 95-96, 23-24 seasons. I also have the 24-25 half season disc created, and I also have an ABA disc for 75-76. I'm working on a WNBA season for last year, although that's going to create a modification of the score sheet since their timing is different than what the pro game is for the men and the college as well. The college season, I do have the 19-20 season. That's the COVID lost tournament season. So I'm going to be replaying the NCAA tournament based on that. And I will have the 24-25 college season out, at least the tournament field out, the NCAA 68 teams, probably the day after the brackets come out. So you can play your college games and play the tournament along with it being played for real. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and drop me a line or ask me a question if you've got any questions or comments about the game. When I've played it, it's awful addicting. And as you can see with Jason's videos, he's pretty excited about it as well. So the game is free. And I may at some point in time be selling some specialized box sets of this game. So thank you for listening, and have a great day.